Headphones on, the whispers begin.
Would you dare to find out what the future holds for you? There are many who have done so, and knowing what the future held for them made them lose their minds. The protagonist of the following story wanted to know what the tarot cards had in store for her, and the result, well, it's better for you to find out for yourself. The dim light of the single candle barely illuminated the room, casting flickering shadows on the cracked walls. Mira sat alone at her small wooden table, the infamous Tarot of Flesh splayed before her. The deck was rumored to be cursed, its predictions so accurate they blurred the line between foresight and fate. She had purchased it on a whim, intrigued by its dark reputation, but the moment she touched the cards, a chill had settled in her chest that hadn't left. She shuffled the cards methodically, their texture strangely warm, almost like skin. Tonight, her curiosity had outgrown her fear. She wanted to test the deck. Her first question was simple. "Will I find love?" she whispered into the silence. The cards fell into a neat spread, and the image of the lovers emerged. The artwork was grotesque, a pair of figures conjoined by veins, their faces twisted in both ecstasy and agony. Beneath the card was an inscription she hadn't noticed before. "Unity comes with sacrifice." Mira felt a sharp, stinging pain in her chest. She gasped and clutched her blouse, feeling her heartbeat slow unnaturally. Her hand brushed something wet. Looking down, she froze. A thin crimson line had appeared on her chest, right over her heart, as though an invisible scalpel had carved into her. Blood trickled down her torso, but the pain was fleeting, and as it subsided, she dismissed it as coincidence. Her rational mind clung to disbelief. The second question was impulsive, driven by the thrill of the previous reading. "How will I die?" The words felt heavy in the air, hanging like an invocation. The card seemed to respond eagerly, sliding from her hand into a new spread. At the center was the tower. Its image depicted a decayed skeletal structure engulfed in black flames. People tumbled from its heights, their faces hollow-eyed and screaming. Beneath the card were the words, "Collapse is inevitable." Suddenly the candle flame surged, bathing the room in a fiery glow. Mira screamed as the walls around her groaned, the plaster cracking as though under immense pressure. Her breath caught as the air thickened, turning hot and suffocating. She could feel her lungs constrict, a burning sensation clawing its way up her throat. Then it stopped. The room returned to normal, but Mira was not the same. Her skin had blistered in patches, the smell of burnt flesh faint but unmistakable. She stared at her reflection in a broken mirror, horror twisting her face. Her hair had singed at the edges, and her lips were cracked and bleeding. She tried to stop. Her trembling hands reached to collect the cards and hide them, but an unseen force compelled her to continue. The deck wasn't done with her. Her final question was a desperate plea. "How can I stop this?" The cards slid into place once more, and her breath hitched as she turned over. Death. Unlike the traditional depiction, this card featured no scythe-wielding figure. Instead, it was a rotting corpse with empty sockets, holding a mirror in which Mira saw her own face. The card's inscription read, "To end it, you must embrace it." The room plunged into darkness, and Mira felt something cold and slimy brush her neck. She shrieked and stumbled backward, but there was no escape. The shadows around her thickened, growing sentient, coiling around her arms and legs like serpents. One by one, her senses began to betray her. Her vision dimmed, her hearing distorted into a cacophony of whispers, and her skin felt as though insects burrowed beneath it. She clawed at herself, peeling away layers of flesh in a futile attempt to rid herself of the sensation. Blood pooled at her feet, thick and dark as tar. The mirror from the card appeared on the table before her, shimmering with unnatural light. Mira leaned closer, compelled to look. Inside, her reflection was grinning, wide, unnatural, and full of sharp, jagged teeth. "You can't stop it," the reflection hissed. "You invited it." Her body convulsed as the shadows tightened their grip, pulling her into the mirror. Her screams echoed long after she disappeared, leaving the deck behind, untouched but waiting. Days later, a curious man found the deck at a flea market. The cards seemed warm to the touch. He smiled. "I wonder what my future holds." And now I ask you, what do you think will happen next? I ask you to write it in the comments. Do you want to hear more kidnapping stories? Subscribe to never miss a horror story. Here I leave you a story that will scare you. Listen to it if you dare.